Good evening, friends, and welcome to the Nuvee Club Podcast. My name is Big Mike. I'm sitting here with Sanjay Singh. I'm coming to you from Long Island. He's coming to you from somewhere in the great state of New York and the city, NYC. It's the Nuvee Club Podcast, not the Movie Club Podcast, even though we will be talking about movies. I love talking about movies, but it's not only that.
That's correct. We're talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
All right, seems like the reels broke off the machine on that. I think that was the first time I saw it in this particular way. Other times it was on my little tiny phone. Sanjay, what kind of week has it been?
It has been a grueling week, man. I mean, it seems like all I do is work, eat, sleep, and do it all over again.
I do things similar, but perhaps not in that order. I do have something pretty exciting to talk about to lead into the discussions of the half hour or 45 minutes, however long we end up being here. I will be debuting this Saturday night with Star Boxing, Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing at the Paramount in downtown Huntington. It'll be my first time being an MC for a fighting outfit. Everybody that's seen me perform has said that I probably fit well in an arena like that. I'm not going to be the ring announcer. I'm going to be the outside ring announcer. So I'll be cutting promos, directing people to the merchandise table, giving the ring girls pop, and talking about all the different things that are happening outside of the ring at the event. And then I'll be throwing it to the ring announcer that's in the ring. So I'm really excited about that. That's Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. at the Paramount. What do you think about that?
I think that sounds fun. Good luck. That sounds like a good time.
What's your week looking like?
So we are debuting Tangent tomorrow. Tangent is the world's first community-generated AI art film. So that's going to be exciting. Anyone, anywhere in the world can visit tangent.ltd and watch the film in its current form, then submit a text prompt which generates the next 10 seconds of the film.
Well, before you get really deep into the Tangent stuff, I think people need to know a little bit about why film. Why film? Why, when you think of Sanjay Singh, you think about film. Why does Sanjay Singh love film? Why have you been doing what you've been doing in your entire adult life?
You know, I've always been gravitated towards the camera since I was like a kid, like 8, 9 years old. I just my parents got a camera, and I got my hands on it, and I just love seeing the world through it. Back then it was tape, and I think there was something about the technology and being able to record the world and then watch it back in this new perspective that really drew me to the medium. And over the years, I had different expressions of filmmaking, but it really didn't formalize until I was in my teens when I started making sketch videos and then ultimately going to film school.
But why is it that you're not like the typical filmmaker? Obviously, somebody gets interested in film. I'm sure that story where they've always been drawn to the camera, either in front of the camera or behind the camera, and they want to make movies, they want to write stories, they want to tell stories through film. They go that path, and they try it, and they either make it, or, like most people, they don't. You're trying to start a whole revolution, something completely different, something that a lot of people would say they've never really seen or heard of something like it before. Why do you think you are bending into that turn of doing something so ambitious and so innovative?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm also a problem solver. Like, I have a producer mind also. So I kind of see a lot of the holes and a lot of the things that people complain about in the film industry. And I naturally want to solve them. I naturally want to create solutions for how to make the film industry better, how to improve on the current model. So I think that's kind of like an inherent thing. And I think in terms of storytelling, I'm naturally storytelling all the time in different parts of my life and in different ways, not even just film. And so I think when I look at why I do other things in film, it's just because it's who I am. I'm just like a natural storyteller. And when I decide to make a film, when I decide to make a video, I do that.
So you're trying to attack this situation of getting into the film industry, being a part of the film industry, bringing these new tools to the forefront, something that is ambitious, something that is innovative, something that maybe has not been done before. And because you've attained such success with that, you were so like, let's start a podcast because nobody does that.
Exactly. I figured everybody's hounding my phone all day long.
Well, obviously, me too. You know, I'm out here doing the entertainment thing, working here, doing certain things, interacting, and I gotten to such a level of success. I said, you know what's missing? A podcast. Because let's face it, we don't have enough podcasts in this world. We don't have enough podcasts of two relatively unknown people gibbering like fools about whatever pops into their brain. I think we might be onto something here.
We're onto something. You know, the world is too sterile. We need to add some noise to it. But I think it's interesting because you've always been a storyteller also since you were a kid. And I think it's interesting because, you know, you've naturally become this entertainer now, this multi-personality on the radio station. And I think, you know, people really need to understand more about how you became that, you know, how these multiple characters came through from a young age.
Well, there are certainly explanations for that. A lot of it is out of necessity. And I think that's the point of why we wanted to do this. Obviously, we don't come from the same background. There's a significant age gap in between us, but we've done a lot of projects together. We've had success together doing stuff. And I think that in telling the stories behind how we got here, both on our separate individual journeys and also on the journey together, obviously I support Nuku, I support the Nuvee Club, I support everything that you're trying to do, and sincerely hope that success continues to grow, because you have had success, I have had success, but obviously we're out there looking for more success. And on the off chance that there's people out there that are interested in this sort of thing, let's face it, people are interested in this sort of thing. I think the main thing that a lot of people are searching the internet and they're scrolling through their TikToks and they're going through their Instagram reels and they're scouring the internet and they're getting into social media arguments. I think what they're really looking for is something that is genuine. I have found myself over time, I've found disingenuous people. I just find it so abhorrent. I can't take it, and because I think I think most people encounter disingenuity. You know what I'm trying to say? I talk good.
Well, I also think it's part of the times. I think it's part of the times we're in. You know, we're part of this hyper curated, manicured aesthetic in the world where you can edit yourself down to the elements you want, and if you don't, you can just have this AI creation as a fictitious representation of you. And I think the tools to do that are so easily accessible that it's kind of just the nature of the times we're in. You know, people are inherently more accustomed to hiding behind those tools and behind those kind of trimmed moments rather than just embracing the unedited, unfiltered moments.
I think that's why I personally, for myself, I really turn into the idea of interacting live, because that I still think is something that AI has not figured out how to do it and probably won't be good at it for at least in my lifetime, maybe not in your lifetime. But that's what keeps me interested in doing this sort of stuff, because I feel like there is still a significant difference between the real and the not real. Even though at face value you can mistake not real for real, but I think ultimately when you're face to face with somebody and you're having an interaction, whether that is out on the street or if it's at an event or if it's on stage live at an event, I think that you can tell the difference between real and not real. And that actually goes into something that you wanted to highlight, the Nuvee Spotlight project that we worked on basically 1 year ago, that is still living out there on the internet. It is something that still gets consumed. I still get likes every once in a while from people that discover that particular project. And it's something that anybody that's tuning in for the for the people that are tuning in probably want to know more about, and that is Living Room Comics. So take that away.
Yeah, so Living Room Comics is an original comedy series where rising comedians pitch one joke, they workshop it with other up-and-coming comedians, and then perform in front of a live living room audience. So we really kind of show the process of how a joke is crafted from when it's just a nascent idea that maybe comes up spontaneously to when it's fully formed and performed in front of a live audience.
And now that it's a year later, It still exists. So anybody that's listening to this can go watch it. They can go consume it. They can see it for themselves. They can see the comedians. The comedians are working comedians. They're working comics. They're still out there hitting the pavement. They're doing their stand-up routine. Not quite as big as Howie Mandel, a personal friend of mine. I know you know that. But they are out there working hard. So where can people consume Living Room Comics and judge for themselves at this point?
So anyone, if they're interested in checking out how jokes are made by some pretty notable comics, Matt Ruby, Miss Lissa, those are great comics on the show.
Miss Lissa, I miss Miss Lissa.
Miss Lissa is amazing. So you can go to nuku.com, nukhu.com. It's the only place you can watch the episodes. And then after you watch them, go to Nuvee Club, nuvee.club, and chime in on the live discussion and tell us which comics you think are the funniest and which one maybe you thought should have won differently.
Yeah, I think I grew up in Queens, but now I'm way out on Long Island. But even when I lived in Queens, going to the stand-up comedy shows really wasn't something that I did. But it really didn't make a lot of sense that I didn't, because obviously I'm into that. I'm into comedy. I'm into comedies. I watch lots of television, you could tell, and it's all comedian-based stuff. I think this definitely takes a new approach to that standard old nightclub comedian act. So Living Room Comics, and it was fun to do, and if it gets any traction, I'm sure we'll be doing some more.
Absolutely, we love to bring some more episodes to all of you guys. I know the comics are. We keep getting more comics reaching out to us wanting to participate in future episodes, so I know they definitely want to get involved too.
If you could do something different today, now, a year out, what do you think you would do differently with Living Room Comics?
Good question. I think we definitely want to keep the living room aesthetic. I really love the setting and the location and the environment. The concept of the show itself, I think, really works well, but I think how we executed it, maybe we could have done a little things to help highlight the comics a little better. So for instance, in the living room scenario when they're doing the live performance, I would have loved to have maybe done it with a light setting, maybe at night or somewhere where the comics were actually spotlit, where it was just a light on them. You can't see the audience, you can't see anyone else. And we definitely want to get more audience members in the room next time. We kind of kept it to just like a really small group, but I think next time you want to pack the room, just let's have it spill over and see how that room kind of dynamic plays with the comics next time.
So that's a great example of something that you created in the past, roughly 1 year ago. It took a lot of effort. There was a lot of resources dedicated to it. We spent a lot of time on it. What's something you've created recently?
So like I was talking about earlier, The Tangent. This is a new AI-generated, community-generated film that I'll be releasing tomorrow. I've shot some projects, some short films, and some series, in that time. But I'm really excited about this because it's a very timely discussion. AI. Where is the state of AI? What is it going to do to the creative industry, to the world? And I think this project is a reflection of where AI is at now. And I think it helps reinforce the idea that it is not ready. It simply is not ready. It requires a lot of work. It is expensive to iterate. It is expensive to perfect and to get something that you really want, that you intend to create. And I think this film concept, this art concept, really showcases that concept also.
Where did the idea to do a community created project come from? Is that something that has been done before, or is that something new in your experience?
I have never seen it done in this way. So I know, like, years and years ago, and I'm aging myself, that there have been competitions where, branded competitions where like Canon or something would come out and they would say, here's a prop, here's an item, here's a line of dialogue, and create a short film about that. And then a whole bunch of people create short films and they submit it, and they pick one and it becomes the film. And then the last frame of that, they'll say, okay, take this item in the last frame, take this line, create a whole new short film, and then more people will create a whole other short film and submit, and then they'll curate from that group one of the short films that they want. And then they'll basically create this chain of films that kind of are like episodic. And so I've seen storytelling done that way before, but I've never seen it done in a cohesive narrative like in a feature film, like we're doing here with AI.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely showcase where AI is at the moment. I know that when we were playing with it, I was surprised. The thing I love about the idea of Tangent itself, and it's not the first thing that you've created that I feel this way about, it's something that I've never seen before. And I think that on its own could probably stand on its merit as something that's never been seen before. To me, at first look, it reminded me of, there was this old show called Whose Line Is It Anyway with the comedians, and they did a skit called Three-Headed Opera Singer. And they would get the three comedians, they would all like lock arms, and a melody would begin to play on the piano, and they would sing, they would create a song, one word at a time, one person at a time.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was always hilarious. It was never not hilarious. And as the song went on and it got more ridiculous, it kept getting funnier and funnier. I don't know if the AI technology is advanced enough to make what Tangent currently is become something like that. But you are certainly taking the first steps on the moon of whatever it is going to be. I know when we were talking about it, so we were talking about the prompt. So you type in the prompt of where you want the story to go, and people can see the previous prompts, or they can't see the previous prompts.
They can. I think that's also part of the art experience, which is you can see all the writers, the names. If they choose to use a pseudonym, that's fine, or whatever. But you can see the list of all the writers that have contributed to the film and the prompt that they submitted for the particular duration within the film that they contributed to. And I think that's a really interesting social experiment because it really speaks towards this community aspect. It's not even like you can hide. You can kind of like, type the prompt and hide behind the veil of the internet. It's like whatever you submit, becomes part of this public ledger and part of this public art exhibit that now will just continue to be around for forever.
I feel like there's an opportunity for people to even go deeper, because obviously if you're going to write something that's going to be a 10-second video clip, the prompt is going to be relatively short. You are limited on the characters. Imagine a situation where I type in my prompt that takes the story a certain place, but what if I have more? What if I want to say more about this story? If I had it, but it obviously it's not something that's going to become a video because the AI just isn't capable yet. But what if it's something that people could read? I feel like I find that very interesting. I'm not saying that I would read it, but I'm saying somebody somewhere smarter than me might actually sit down and read it. Kind of like the old choose your own adventure books. I think people like to be,
yes.
People that are creative want to have the impression that they put on it. They want it to be seen. They want it to be felt. They want to be a part of it. And I think that's an exciting part of what Tangent could become.
I agree. I think, you hit the nail on all the right points. And I think the gamification of storytelling is an interesting aspect of the future of entertainment. Yeah, I'm curious.
Where do people even get their... They're going to sit down. This is something totally new and different. However it comes across to them, hey, I might sit down and watch. Like, fast forward, a year from now, and Tangent is an hour and a half long, or whatever it is. All right, I'm going to sit down and watch this thing because it seems new and different. I've never seen anything like it. Where do people get what they sit down and watch now? I know I get it basically. If people are talking about it, I'm going to spend some time watching it, ultimately. But I don't know. I feel like the other generations figure out what they want to watch completely differently. Like if Netflix tells them to watch it, they're going to sit there and watch it. But I don't really understand it. Where do you get what you want to watch?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting, the discussion about film discovery. I think I consume stuff in so many different ways. I think I get screeners sent to me for Nuvee Fest, so I'm watching screeners before they hit the actual market. I have all of the streaming channels, all the major ones. So I'm browsing the catalogs. I'm watching to see what's dropping in, what people are talking about, seeing what's going on.
But what makes the determination that, okay, I'm going to spend time watching this? Because you and also my brother were saying, hey, you have to watch... What is it, Severance? I forget the name of it. What's the one that you're telling me about?
Yeah, Severance on Apple TV. Yeah. I think that's a good show.
Yeah, I just don't have the service, so even I watched the first episode, it just hasn't tipped me over the scales.
You're going to wait until you can binge it all in 1 month's time, and then you're going to unsubscribe again.
Most likely, yeah. Most likely, yes. There are some services. That's actually a good point, because I got Showtime access, or whatever it was called, when they were putting out a new Dexter series, because I wanted to watch a new Dexter series. But because they ran so many promos for this other show called Yellow Jackets, So that's not word of mouth, but I got hooked on watching Yellow Jackets because of the promos that were run during the Dexter renewal show, whatever it was, a couple of years ago. So maybe I am susceptible to that type of promotion.
Okay, so promotion's one thing, especially if you already have like an in on it. But for me, like, there's a difference, right? So if it's recreational or for work. If it's recreational, I'm not going off the thumbnail. That's like my last option. I'm not going off of that. My usual go-to is the trailer. I'll skim the trailer. I see if it's like a world I'd be interested in. And if I like it, I'll watch at least the first 10 minutes. And if it's not catching me, maybe I'll scrub through the rest of the film. For work, when I'm reviewing screeners, I'm pretty much watching the entire film. We have a rubric. We're basing that on concept, aesthetics, relatability. Is there
What's
an
a
idea?
rubric? Do I know what a rubric is? Should I?
If you got graded on them when you were in grade school, it's like
I went to school a long time ago, Sanjay. Sean. Who's Sean? Who's on this call?
That's my nickname.
Yeah, a rubric. I thought you were talking about like I don't know. I thought it was a film term.
No, it's rubric. It's for 3 terms that we use: concept, aesthetics, and relatability, to kind of break down whether or not a film.
But not one of those 3 words was rubric.
No, because rubric is the form. It's the actual.
Oh, okay. Don't get me getting nervous to me, okay? I just work here.
So is there an idea? Is it well executed? Can it be understood by other people? And then outside of that, I use the jump-in test. I also have DirecTV. I'm watching cable. I love. There's something about watching stuff that is randomly good, just kind of jumping in. I think that's also an experience that people don't have anymore. I guess the comparison would be like if you're scrolling through your social media feed and instead of starting at like the beginning of a reel or a video, like it starts halfway through. Yeah, like what would that be like?
So not talking about work. Don't talk about people are sending you Nuvees and Nuku movies and things for that. Not that. Are you paying for online content? Are you streaming it? Is it? Are you the person who pays per movie, or are you the person that you'll watch it if it's free to you?
I will pay for a film. I'll pay for a film, and if a lot of the films that get sent to me, so that's also part of the perks of the business. But I would say I'm going to the theater if I don't have access to it yet, and if I really want to watch it now, I'll get it on VOD. I'm in that
category, and obviously I'm not really in the film industry the way you are. So I think that I would say I'm atypical entertainment consumer. I go to the theater. I like the theater experience. I go to the theaters a lot, so I do pay to go to the theater often. If I'm in a situation where there's a movie that I want to see and it is $4.99 if I buy it on YouTube or Amazon, I will spend the $4. I will spend the $5. If it's $4 to rent and it's $19 to own, I'll probably rent it and force myself to sit there and watch it. If it's $4.99 or $2.99 to rent and it's $8.99 to own, I might take the gamble and buy it. But I'm kind of like in I'm in my own world with that. I don't know how most people consume their movies. Am I a typical movie watcher, or am I an atypical movie watcher?
I think you're atypical. I think you're a film fan, and I think the entertainment industry as commerce is in a tricky place because of the ubiquity of free entertainment. So like I have this theory that like algorithms, whether they're on like subscriptions platforms where you pay $10 for thousands of videos, or you're just browsing free stuff on social media. I have this theory that those algorithms have destroyed the explorer's spirit. This spirit where you want to be a tastemaker, where you want to find something compelling that's unique, and to feel like you found gold.
Instead, because you watch one video for 5 nanoseconds longer than you should have, and that's all you get from here till eternity.
Exactly. And forget if you liked it. If you liked it, then that's
all you're going to get. Forever. Because we had talked about this before, where I, out of nowhere, at least seemingly out of nowhere, I started getting fed these videos of this person playing acoustic guitar, playing songs. I don't think I stayed on the video too long. I didn't click like. I don't even want to see it. I have no desire. And I must have got that person playing that acoustic guitar 50 times over the course of 3 days, and I don't understand it. And after we talked about it, though, it disappeared. And you were like, well, that person probably lives near you. It has to be geographic. but I haven't seen that in a long time. What I did start getting are videos of this person who's like singing on the streets of London, and she's got like an Irish accent. Now, here's the thing. She's built in a way, follow me. She's built in a way that people are going to stop and watch what's happening on the video. You understand?
So you stopped.
But I didn't stop and sit there I didn't watch. If the whole thing was a minute, I might have stayed on it for 7 seconds, 10 seconds, and that's enough. And now that's enough. But it's not the same. It's not the same account. It's not one account. It's like this video is on 100 different accounts, or maybe 1,000 different accounts. And I don't understand. Yeah. But explain to me, what do you mean it's part of it? What does that mean? That mean, is there somebody sitting around going, I want my video to be seen. I'm going to create 1,000 fake TikToks and upload the same content, and hopefully people just keep getting bombarded with it till they're sick of my face.
Well, how do you know that they were fake? Like, do they have, like, no followers?
No, I don't know that they're fake, but, like, why would somebody... So you're telling me somebody else is watching a video of this singer on the streets of London, downloads the video or screen captures the video, then posts it on their own TikTok to what end?
Because, she's the lady that they know. Yeah, I don't know what it's like over there, but they must be a communal thing, and she must have a strong following of people that love her and they want to support her. And that's what they've done.
I know Sabrina Carpenter. I know Taylor Swift. I know Olivia Rodrigo. Gracie Abrams.
They have entire campaigns, paid to be their fans.
So if they have all those people, how come well, actually, I do get 1 billion Sabrina Carpenter videos, too, which is why my niece is never going to see her live. Sorry, it ain't happening. I don't understand how it works, and I don't necessarily know if anybody does, and if they do, come tell me so we can get out of this mess, but... I don't know. And I think all of that all together affects everything. I think it affects the entire industry, the entire entertainment industry, the way people consume music, the way people consume movies, the way people consume television shows, stand-up comedy shows, everything. And because there's such a big shift, such a big change, it also changes the way the companies operate. It changes the way that the companies employ people. And we're seeing it in real time. And it's not a good thing. People need money to spend on things. If you create content because you're a singer and you have a song and you want to make money, so you want to go out there and have concerts. People need money to buy tickets to the concert. People need money to buy the album, whether it's digital or not. And when the spokes of the wheel start to break down and not enough people have not enough money to buy those things, I think like the whole system comes apart.
Yeah, it really goes back to this concept of the industry just being in a tricky place, precarious place because of the ubiquity of free entertainment. Free entertainment, I think, has conditioned people that media in any form is not worth paying for. And I think that's a bad idea. I think that is a bad ethos. I think that is a bad concept to be in the world. And it really degrades the work, devalues the work that artists put into creating. I mean, people that are not even famous, they're trying to be, or they're trying to express themselves, an artist even, maybe they're not trying to be famous. They're just trying to, express themselves. I think even them, when they're in the process of creating, they realize just how difficult it is to make something and finish it, like just to finish something. Yeah. And I think, and then when you finish it, you have comments, you have self-criticisms, you want to improve on it, you want to do it again. So maybe you don't have as many, you want to like it better. So that whole iteration process requires a lot of work, and it happens behind the doors. And it's not always something that people, fans, consumers, buyers of media see. And I think because there's like that disconnect, that's why they don't appreciate or understand the value of it.
And that's a story probably as old as time. There's I think about the Bob Dylan movie that was made, the massive amount of effort and resources that were dedicated to that. And you say to yourself, all right, I'm sure the movie made money. I'm sure people got well off of the movie. But if you were looking for recognition and you didn't get the recognition, you almost say to yourself, I don't know what else I could have done to get the recognition. That was as much effort as anybody could have ever put towards that.
As much as
But he wasn't looking for anybody's appreciation. I think ultimately it's a business, and they were looking for butts in the seats and ticket sales.
no, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a goal, is to try to sustain yourself doing it by making money. But I think no matter how much you try to manufacture success by paying for self promotion or marketing to get in front of people to get that attention, there's definitely a level of luck involved in terms of right place, right time, right messaging, right time, right character, right relatability, all these kind of ingredients, likability, all these little ingredients kind of have to add up and hit the right group of people at the right time so that you grow naturally. And that natural growth, that word of mouth, is very difficult to harness, but there's definitely luck involved.
Yeah, because a lot of people, even if they like something, it's not like it's almost like because of something like social media and how far it's advanced, it's almost like people consider themselves like a brand unto themselves. And I can't say I like this movie because it's like I'm endorsing this movie. Instead of in the past, if you were just walking down the street, having a conversation with a stranger because you saw a movie poster. Oh, did you see that movie? Oh, yeah, I saw it was pretty good. Like I think people are less willing. And I remember sitting in a meeting with Coca-Cola, early in the days when I worked for the big sandwich organization up north. I found myself in a meeting with the Coca-Cola team at headquarters, and that was beginning. This was 2006, 2005, and it was beginning. It was like, well, a Coca-Cola commercial telling you that Coca-Cola is delicious has an impact. My friend John saying Coca-Cola is delicious, I'm drinking Coca-Cola right now, has more of an impact. So it really has become, that's the new way that we're trying to get information out there. So with that said, we might as well give somebody a little love. I'll tell you I saw this movie in the theater, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, Last Breath. Woody Harrelson is in it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was incredible. I had seen the trailer. I was like, all right, I don't know what this is going to be. Turned out to be something very different than what I thought it was going to be. And if you're the type of person that's looking for a movie recommendation, whether to go to the theater if it's still in theaters or if you're going to stream it one day, I think the Last Breath movie with Woody Harrelson is worth seeing. It tells a very nice story, and I think it will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Nice, man. That's a good call out. I think you're right. There's definitely a lot of value to word of mouth, and you talk about Coca-Cola, one of the world's most infamous brands. Even a brand like that now, they even trying to say that, oh, this new Coca-Cola tastes delicious is not enough. It's got to be some remix of that. It's got to be like somebody took the Coca-Cola, poured it all out, and then took the can and created this experiment with the can. And they made this Rube Goldberg with the can. And that created this explosion. That went viral. And that people like, this ingenuity that somebody did with the Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's so strange that's going to make somebody then go buy Coca-Cola. It's weird, but I'm sure that it does. I drink Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola's delicious. That's what I like. So
you just
I don't
like
any fruity sodas. I don't like any flavored sodas. I don't like any of that except seltzer. I will drink seltzer because I'm trying to be healthy.
Well, that's good. You got to watch out for the pH though. It's good to settle your stomach, but it raises your pH.
Seltzer?
Lowers your pH. Yeah, lowers it. Yeah.
Seltzer lowers my pH? What the hell are you talking about?
It makes your body more acidic because of the bubbles. So it puts your body in an acidic state.
Are you sure about that? I think you're making that up.
No.
What are you talking about?
No, that's the truth. It's all about...
Because there's carbon dioxide in there, you think I'm turning into acid?
Well, I'm just saying that, it just puts your body in a more acidic state. So I don't know how that affects you, but I do know that people usually like to be in a more alkaline state for whatever digestive reasons.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sanjay Singh.
Speaking of movies, I'm...
We weren't talking about movies. We were talking about my seltzer. No,
you're talking about Last Breath. Yeah, Woody Harrelson. I like watching old movies, man. There's something about movies that came out a long time ago that it's not like some streaming companies trying to spit out real quick and try to get a bunch of people to watch. There's a different energy involved in the older films, and you can't even find them on streaming. You got to buy them. One of the films I saw was Arlington Road. Have you seen that?
Oh, I love Arlington Road.
Yeah, right?
That's not even really an old movie, Sanjay. I thought you were going to come up with Casablanca or
No,
something
no.
with something from the 40s.
No, man,
Arlington
there's been
Road.
movies within the last 20, 30 years that, like, a lot of people don't even know about.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely movies that, for some reason you turn on TBS and they have, something with Wesley Snipes in it, and you're like, I've seen this movie 14,000 times. Yeah. Why won't they put on an Arlington Road? But you're right, Arlington Road was a fantastic movie.
Oh my gosh.
Really edge of your seat.
Talk about a movie that, I had a very interesting feeling at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because normally you like to feel a certain way. When a movie's finished, you like a certain level of closure.
And you don't feel that way at the end of Arlington Road.
You don't. Yeah. It's tricky, but there's something about it that I really love and appreciate. I won't ruin it for anybody, but go check it out now, whatever it's on. If you like Jeff Bridges, Tim Robbins, and Joan Cusack, go check it out.
Absolutely. And if you do end up watching either Arlington Road or Last Breath with Woody Harrelson, let us know. Hit us up. Tell us what you thought. If you're taking our advice, we'd like to know that too. I think as far as experiments go, I think you should be pretty happy with this one, Sanjay.
I'm excited. I'm happy with what we talked about. Happy with the topics mentioned, how we talked about them. I think we're starting something new, and we'll see how it evolves. But thank you for doing this with me, and I love you, man.
All right, never mind the mushy stuff. Yes, I love you too. You can check us out everywhere. I'm at the Feast Man. You got the Sanjay Vision, of course. The at Nuvee Club on Instagram, at Nukhu, Nukhu on YouTube. And as long as I don't drink this seltzer and burn into an acidic mess, we'll be seeing you next week at the same time. Take it home, son.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.